Fluent Flow Podcast. New videos every day. Let's learn English together.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, find the key knowledge nuggets, and, well, make them easy to understand. It's your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating deep dive. We're looking into how simple, everyday actions can have a huge impact on learning, especially for anyone starting out with a new language. Our source material for this is actually from a podcast script itself. It's called Daily Habits That Help Me Learn English. And it really lays out a kind of clear path for building confidence and fluency. So our mission today, we want to pull out the core principles behind these seemingly small habits. We'll explore not just what they are, but more importantly, why they're so powerful for learning anything, really. Okay, let's get into it.
So the main idea from our source is all about consistency. It really hammers home this point. It's not about these, massive, overwhelming study marathons.
Right.
Instead, it's about treating language learning like brushing your teeth, something essential you do every day. The source suggests just dedicating maybe 15 to 20 minutes every single day. And what's fascinating there, I think, is that focus on the daily routine over, say, cramming once a week. It does raise that question, doesn't it? Why is consistency, even these small doses, why is it more effective than trying to do it all in one go, infrequently?
Yeah, why is that?
Well, it really highlights the power of building neural pathways. It's about that regular exposure and practice. Think of it like creating a little path in your brain.
Yeah.
Each day you walk it, it gets clearer, easier to follow. Sporadic, big efforts, they don't reinforce it in the same way.
That makes a lot of sense, like wearing a groove.
Exactly.
So taking that idea, that consistent small input, the first habit the source talks about is listening to English every morning. It suggests just playing something, a podcast, maybe a video, some music, while you're doing other stuff, making coffee, showering, getting ready. And the key thing it says is just listen, even if I don't understand everything.
Yeah, and that passive exposure is actually incredibly important, especially early on. It helps your brain start to tune into the sounds, the rhythm, the sort of music of English. It's building familiarity without pressure.
Right, no tests, just listening.
Precisely. And over time, that background listening starts to unlock little bits of understanding and makes the language feel less alien. You're basically creating a little immersive environment for yourself.
Okay, so that covers the listening, the input side. Then it gets really interesting, I think. The second habit is about output, but tiny output, right? Just one sentence every day.
Just one.
Just one. It could be in a notebook, on your phone, whatever. Just writing about your life, what you ate, did, felt. The examples are super simple, like today I feel happy, or I went to the park, or even I listened to an English podcast.
This habit might sound almost too simple, but it's brilliant. It builds confidence, yes, but crucially, it builds consistency in producing the language. Writing, even that single sentence, forces you to actively remember and use words and grammar. It's not passive.
Right. You have to pull it out of your brain.
Exactly. It reinforces the learning through production. And that low barrier, just one sentence, makes it so easy to keep doing it daily. That's the real power, consistency again.
That low barrier really seems key, doesn't it? Making it achievable day after day.
Absolutely.
Okay, so building on that, the third habit is about reading. Again, just a little bit every day. The recommendation is to choose things made for learners. Easy stories, short blogs, even subtitles on a show could work.
Materials at the right level.
Yeah. And the advice is read slowly, focus, look up words if you need to, but importantly, not stop too much.
That's smart advice. It helps you see English in context, right? You absorb vocabulary more naturally that way. It's not about understanding every single word perfectly, but about getting the gist, recognizing patterns.
Tolerating a bit of not knowing everything.
Yes, exactly. And reading consistently, even just a little, helps you start, hopefully, enjoying the language itself, which is huge for sticking with it long term.
Okay, so we've got listening, writing, reading. Now for speaking. This one can feel like a hurdle for people. The fourth habit is speak out loud, even if you're totally alone.
Talking to yourself.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The source suggests practicing in the mirror or maybe in the shower while you're walking. And again, simple phrases. How are you today? My name is Jenny. I like learning English. Things like that.
This directly tackles the production side of things, the speaking muscle, if you will. Speaking aloud, even just to yourself, it does a few things. It strengthens your vocal muscles for English sounds. It builds confidence, just hearing yourself say it.
Makes it feel more real.
Yeah, and it helps internalize phrases. It's a really vital step to move from just understanding passively to actually communicating actively.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, habit number 5 is one I find really quite cool. It's trying to think in English during your day.
The internal shift.
Yeah. So like if you're cooking, you might think internally, now I cut the tomato, or I boil the water, or I eat lunch at 12. You don't have to say it out loud. Just think it.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of learning, this habit is really about changing your brain's default setting in a way. You're training your thoughts to naturally process in English rather than constantly translating back and forth from your native language.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. It helps English become more intuitive, more integrated into how you just normally think. It bridges that gap between studying consciously and using the language naturally.
That feels like a really advanced but simple step.
It is, and it's powerful, often overlooked.
So we've kind of touched on this throughout, but the 6th habit makes it explicit. Make English a daily routine.
Back to the core ideals.
Right. It emphasizes doing a little bit of everything, listening, writing, speaking, reading every day. For those 15-20 minutes, it really doubles down on the idea of small steps, but making sure they happen every single day.
Yeah, this is like the meta habit, isn't it? It reinforces that principle. Consistency over trying to be perfect or do too much at once. By making English part of your daily rhythm, just like having breakfast or, as you said, brushing your teeth, you create this almost unbreakable habit. And that consistent, low-pressure engagement is just so much more powerful for long-term learning than those intense but infrequent bursts. It lowers the activation energy needed each day.
Right. It becomes automatic rather than a big decision each time.
Precisely.
Okay. And the final habit, habit number 7, maybe the most important for sticking with it. Enjoy the process.
Yes.
Crucial.
The advice is pretty straightforward. Watch shows you actually like, listen to podcasts on topics you find interesting, read about things you love, make it fun.
And this raises a really important point. Why is enjoyment so critical for learning? It's not just about making it less painful, right?
Seems like there's more to it. There really is. From a learning science perspective, when you enjoy the content, your brain actually learns better. You get a dopamine release, which boosts memory and motivation. You're naturally more inclined to spend time with the language. You push through difficulties easier, and you seek out more learning opportunities because it feels rewarding, not like a chore.
So it creates a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. It transforms learning from this thing you have to do into something you genuinely want to engage with. It helps you live the language, not just study it.
So let's pull this all together. What does this mean for you listening? This deep dive into these, frankly, very simple daily habits for learning English seems to reveal a pretty powerful truth, doesn't it? Consistent, small actions, when you pair them with genuine enjoyment and you cover both input and output. That seems to be the secret sauce for building basically any new skill.
It really does.
It's not about these huge heroic efforts or achieving perfection right away. It's just about that steady daily rhythm, that drumbeat of engagement.
And maybe what stands out to you listening when you hear these habits laid out, think about how these principles, the small routines, the passive exposure, the active production, thinking in the skill, and finding that joy, how could they apply elsewhere in your life? Anywhere you want to grow or learn something new, not just language. The power of these consistent small steps, when you understand the why behind them, it feels pretty universal.
A really useful framework. We hope this deep dive into daily habits for learning English has given you some valuable insights and maybe some actionable steps you can take, whatever skill you're working on. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.